are now breaking over the ship, sideways over the ship, and it's now about 75 metres away from the shore.
We'll take the 412 and we'll back you up on the second machine.
It's like a cyclone up here.
This is the most amazing sight I think I've ever seen. It really is. They're just metres away from the shoreline.
What's happening, Nathan? Mate, we've got a ship aground at Nobies Beach. Supposedly props stuck on Big Ben, which is a reef just outside the beach area. There's sailors on board, high winds and big waves, big seas.
All we know is that there's a ship's run aground supposedly on Nobbies. So we're going out there to have a look.
She's running aground at the back of Nobies Reef. She's coming right in at Nobies. She's been pushed right in. I'd say she's coming right on the beach.
I've been speaking to the captain of the vessel and the captain has requested evacuation.
Departed base 3 KOB, incoming Westpac 2 for the ship in trouble off the coast at Nobies Beach. The captain has put out a distress call to evacuate the ship's company.
It was wild. It was incredible sight. Certainly something that you never thought you'd see. Conditions are far worse than I actually thought they were.
And looking down at the waves just slamming over it, we all thought you could see us just concentrating on what we had to do, but the thought of knowing that what we were about to do was pretty amazing. Obviously, adrenaline started pumping and we were all really going through all our procedures, making sure it's all down packed in our head, because down there in those sorts of conditions, everything's got to be spot on.
It was a little wet and a little windy. I've been in a couple of tropical cyclone areas. Was getting pretty close to that.
The ship approximately 300 to 400 metres off the beach, in distress, confirmed in distress. It is getting pounded by large seas.
An incredibly awesome sight to see a ship of that size on a beach. You don't get to see that very often.
Initially we were going to start getting the crew off straight away, but they asked that they be left there for a while. They worked out a plan where they were going to get tugs out and try and drag it off the beach then and there.
Westpac 1's proceeding to Harbourside Park with Westpac 2 will be briefing at the Emergency Operations Centre, will advise. Westpac 1.
When we were walking from the helicopters over to the Emergency Operations Centre, just to be able to walk in those conditions in the rain, you were nearly at 45 degrees into the wind to try and walk with the sand and all that sort of stuff, so I can only just imagine what it was going to be like on the deck of that ship with grease and oil and the sea spray and the wind and not being able to see. So on terra firma it was hard, so let alone on a ship that was still moving a bit with oil and grease and everything, in those sorts of conditions would have been extremely difficult.
It's horrendous. Like the wind's blowing down. Just trying to stay steady is hard work.
And we discussed the options and we had a big round table with all the emergency services and the lifeguards. The initial thought was that a large seagoing tug was going to leave the port of Newcastle, put a tow rope on it and tow it out to sea, but the harbour master said that 17.9 metre waves at the harbour entrance, nothing was going to leave the port of Newcastle, so the plans were fairly well dashed then.
I can't tell you if the vessel's going to break in half. Obviously I don't have any engineering background. It is a contingency that we are planning for.
The ship requested for a second time the evacuation of the ship's company. It was basically up to us, and we certainly didn't promise anything. We certainly said that we would have a look at it. We'd been watching the ship, watching the waves on the ship, with the waves hitting the stern of the ship and rolling down the front. So we thought we might be able to give it a shot and see how the conditions were. but we certainly weren't going to promise anything.
A little bit nervous, but I wouldn't say I was jumping out of my skin. I was just more concentrating on what I had to do.
Northern operations, Westpac 1, go ahead. Westpac 1 incoming, Westpac 2, police operations, ship's crew. Westpac 1, copy, thank you.
The question was asked, is it possible of the ship turning over because of the height that we're sitting in the water? And no one could give a guarantee that it wasn't going to go leg up.
Cable's running out now, hooking up rescue crewmen. Coming up, we'll just go over, we'll just follow taxi over to the ship.
We looked at the options, landing. There was so much spray coming over the side of the boat that I felt that was dangerous. I'd lose visual contact with the vessel, and also we'd be ingesting a lot of salt water into the engines, and we just felt that it was safer to winch the crew well.
And rail rescue crewmen are hooked up. Okay. I think somewhere around middle of the ship.
It was running a 17-metre sea, huge. You know, you're looking at 60 feet.
I'll just hold here. And, okay. Not moving any more than the front anyway. Yeah. Okay, we'll send them back and you're clear to move forward 50 and call loose inside. Okay, loose inside. Gotcha. Tail mains real clear on the right. And forward 50. Forward 40. Forward 20. Forward 10. Forward 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. And come down 15 if you 15 is ready. Come down 10. Down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. And come forward 5. We can probably land on this. Yeah, I would not be surprised, but there's a lot of rush. You know, if it comes over, we'll go this far, Oz. I'll be watching it. 8 o'clock. Okay.
Ozzy and I actually discussed landing on the ship at one stage, but we chose not to, for obvious reasons.
No worries, mate. Putting near your rescue crewman out. Traffic. Drifting left.
Obviously concentrating on the job at hand and doing it safely, knowing that it was quite a risky sort of operation.
Out on the skids, taking up the slack.
Because of all the wind and the rain and the hail and the salt spray, just everything sort of conspiring against us to get the job done safe.
Okay, there you go. Clear to hoist. Clear to hoist.
When we're stationed overhead the winch site, the pilot can't see directly underneath him. So I'm giving him directions where he should be and where he should go if he drifts off, and I'm his eyes underneath the aircraft.
Okay. Just come right through. Right one, halfway down. Yeah, they're actually getting covered in spray halfway down. Cut from the ground. Approaching the deck. On the deck now. And bringing up the empty cable. Clear to winch. Clear to winch.
Well, it was quite strenuous. There was a lot of wind, like it was extreme wind. We were indicating something like 55, 60 knots airspeed just on the hover.
Traffic. Guys are moving clear from underneath.
When Glenn and I were first hoisted on board the ship, we made our way to the bridge, went through a couple of inches of oil, which straight away got all over us. The ship was already slippery and just made it even worse.
Cable stowed, clear to move off.
The salt spray was probably the main thing. You know, the waves hitting the side of the ship, the spray's just coming over the deck and just covering us, not only with salt spray, but there was oil in the water as well. So yeah, we're getting sort of covered with that. And just the wind was just unbelievable, like standing on the deck, like because of the salt spray made the deck really slippery. And so you had to be very careful when you were virtually leaning into the wind keep yourself upright.
Westbound 1's just waiting for the rescue crewmen to organise the crew, and then we'll be back in to commence the evacuation.
While I was proceeding up to the bridge was the only time I felt a little bit threatened with the whole job. As soon as I opened up the door, all the ship's captain and all his crew were standing up in the bridge, and you could just see the look in their eyes. All they wanted to do was get off that ship.
We're going to lift about 6 off first, and then the BK will come over and grab another few, and we'll just keep on rotating. How many have got to get off? 22. Westback 1, Westback 2. 1, go ahead.
Kept everyone inside for safety, and we brought out 6 at a time, so we could put 3 up on the pad and 3 down below on the deck, and just bring them up like 1 at a time.
There is a massive spray that breaks over the stern and goes all the way down to the bow. Yeah.
But just watching it and particularly seeing some of those waves were still putting a lot of water over the side of the ship, and the deck was covered in oil as well, and it was really hard for people to walk on the deck. You know, our rescue crew and also the crew of the ship found it quite difficult in that wind to walk on the deck.
Oh, those waves are bloody huge.
The crew wanted to get off that ship. Their eyes were bulging the whole way up, even until we hit land, until we hoisted them up and hit land. They just started calming down then, but while they were on that ship, they just wanted to get off, and you could tell that straight away.
All right, doors open. Okay. Okay, clear across right and forward. Call loose inside. Have a thumbs up.
The winds were gusting anywhere up to 60, 70 knots, so anywhere up to 120 k's, which is pretty heavy on a ship.
Main welfare on the right. 430, 420, 415, 410, 48, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Directly above, clear down, 4, clear the winch. Down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, move right. Right 5, clear the right 5. Left 3, 2, 1, hold.
It's difficult, but it's all just part of our training.
Yeah, it is hard to stand up, especially when the ship was still pitching and rolling. We had lots of factors against us.
4, 2, 4, 1, hold. Halfway down.
Because the winds were so strong, it influenced the winch cable. It actually blew it back probably 20 or 30 feet.
Alright, is that wind blowing back up? Good right, stand on. Do you need me to swing the nose at all? Where's the wind? No, the wind's got the hook. So we need to come forward now. Forward 10. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold.
Because of the wind, it was blowing it behind the back of the aircraft, and in the end, sort of had to dive for it at one stage. So.
Okay, hooks on the deck.
The ship was still rolling, so you're still slightly sliding and making sure you had your footing. We were crouching down really low to keep centre of gravity down. And once the aircraft comes over top, that's got 10 tonne of downwash, so they're also getting blown by that as well. So it makes for a bit of an experience.
Forward 1 and hold. Let's take it, take away. Oh, you wing. Switching off. On the way up. A little bit of sway left and right. Halfway up. 2/3 of the way up. Envelope skid, stopping. Approaching the top. Traffic. At the top, bring it a bit. Okay.
Once we got to the aircraft, you could see the relief in their face. At least they're on board and they're reasonably safe until they get even safer on the ground.
This guy's got grease all over the floor.
Oh, it's a great feeling. I know that you're starting to take people off the ship. The plan is working well.
Putting case back out on skid. Okay.
And have 2 aircraft on the rescue.
On the skid and forward 8.
We work it in a relay.
4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and the hold. Directly above, clear the winch. Okay. And going down past the skid. Traffic. Right 3. Right 2. Right 1, hold. Halfway now. Forward 1, hold. Head on the ground. Okay, on the ground. Looking up at you guys directly above.
Once we took their life accross drops on and hooked them up, their eyes just, I thought they were beady when I first got upstairs, but as soon as they got hoisted up, you could see the fear in their face. Obviously they're not used to doing it, which would be a huge thing, especially the situation they were already in.
Halfway up. Head from below the skid, stopping. And coming up again. Coming up past the skid slowly. Approaching the top.
Traffic.
Bringing them in.
Okay.
Clear the wind.
Traffic.
Okay.
Identified.
On the way now.
Yeah, I'd rather be where I am. Sitting in the pilot seat. Like those guys were just getting drenched and buffeted around. They were getting electric shock, static discharge off the hook every time the hook went down. Because the amount of static electricity, the rotor, the system was building up.
Went past the skids.
Always look at people's faces when I'm bringing them up past the skids, just to see, their reaction. Sure, they looked a little concerned and a little frightened.
And bringing them in, you're gone.
I think they were grateful.
That's 3 on board. And putting Nathan back out.
Traffic.
Good, clear the wind.
West Pack 1 and West Pack 2. Back bay.
Go ahead.
Northern Ops are trying to call you for a job on Grahamstown, so you might want to call them up on the GRN.
Yeah, they're in the middle of a hoist at the moment, so I'll see what they want to do.
Roger that.
Forward 5. Forward 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Head from the ground. West Pack 1, West Pack portable. Shut up, Roger. Requires to leave here immediately. Hold. There's a car submerged at Grahamstown. There's 2 people in the car.
Traffic.
West Pack 1, West Pack 2.
From 1, could you give ambulance a call? Apparently they've got a urgent job up at Grahamstown. People in a submerged car. We can continue with this. There's no real danger here if you guys want to go up and do that other job.
They got 7 people and we're not going to pick it with a stretcher at the moment.
Okay.
Bringing them inboard.
Okay, well do they do this job and we'll go up there?
Traffic.
Is everybody on board? Did the hook in? Hello, Ozzy?
Hey, Ozzy, come on. They need just for a priming of the car at the creek up at Seam. 2 elderly people on board.
Okay.
Inboard.
Bye.
Clear to move off.
West Pack 2, West Pack 1.
West Pack 2, moving over the car.
Yeah, Roger, can you take over this job and we'll go off to the other one up at Seam? Apparently it's more urgent, more life threat.
Yeah, copy that.
In a situation where people have been washed off a road, off a bridge, in a motor vehicle, that there was only minutes available for them to survive. And so if they were going to be given the chance of survival, that we had to go now. And so that's why the decision was made that we would depart the scene, we'd pick up paramedics and search for the couple in the 4-wheel drive.
We were left there to recover 18 of the 22 guys on the boat, and we certainly knew we were in for a longer morning.
It left me with 18 crew members still to get off the ship, and I was all by my lonesome, so I had some work cut out for me.
The weather was forecast to get worse as it did. thunderstorms rolling through with lightning and strong winds and huge amounts of rain. There's big swells. We could see ships out to sea still struggling, and at one stage there we thought we could be at this all day if someone else runs aground, which was highly likely, and there were reports coming on of another 2 ships in danger.
They're called for, a call for distress, and there's apparently one at Strzelecki Bar Beach area that's very, very close to the shore. I got to go, mate. I believe it is a bulk carrier, yes. Okay, bye.
I actually saw a blue flame, which really gave me a big kick.
Oh, I guess the adrenaline was keeping me going, but I was also feeling the effects of seasickness because the ship was still moving around quite a bit, and I don't really like going out in the ocean.
We thought that we were doing it tough up there, but they were doing it a lot tougher down there.